Our whole lives, girls are told by guys there's a right way to be hot.
Centuries of toxic masculinity.
Not to be slaves to the patriarchy. Men make everything about them. Why don't the boys have to take a don't murder girls class? I'm all sass in classes, baby.
Why am I here?
This video is made possible by NordVPN. If I was taking bets on how long it was going to take 2023 to find a way to outdo 2022 for unfunny, woke, badly written content, I would have been generous and given Hollyweird at least a couple of months to outdo She-Hulk. But no! The year has just started and I think we've already peaked with Velma. To sum up the quality of Velma, it makes me miss watching She-Hulk. Yes, it's that bad.
Yes, you can look, you can. Nope, not for me.
But the bit that does put a little chuckle in this dead robot's heart is that everybody hates this show. Even the woke tards.
Who's ready for some bone-crushing empowerment?
In the ongoing breakdown of Hollywood and its mission to destroy every once-loved franchise, apparently Scooby-Doo's number came up to be next on the chopping block. Well, not so much Scooby-Doo. He's nowhere to be seen in this god-awful show. I've never been happier for a dog to be put down.
Never known what it's like to love.
What about all the stuff we did when we went camping, Davey?
No, this time it's Velma's turn to star. Velma, who somehow became the surprising cosplay favourite over Daphne. I think Cheeseburger's got something to do with that. The Velma show is horrible.
Shag, what's the best place to give my girl what she needs?
Whoops, wrong download.
Pervert?
There we go. The title character is horrible, the writing's horrible, and the jokes, if you can call them that, are bloody horrible. We get small dick jokes.
You didn't mention Fred had a tiny dong.
Oh yeah, real baby carrot.
Try hard meta jokes that are just low rant observations with no punchlines.
On TV shows, the malt shop owner is always a friendly black man or a spicy and meatball Italian.
Plenty of gay jokes, and lots of jokes about how it's awesome to hate men.
Why don't the boys have to take a don't murder girls class?
Combat centuries of toxic masculinity.
When a massive burly man springs up and attacks you, notice she said when you get attacked, not if.
I love how toxic masculinity has lost all meaning, and it's just become the modern feminist mantra for describing anything a man does. And it's quite ironic, and not intentionally, that one of the most toxic leads to grace our screens in recent years is Velma. She's totally obnoxious and horrible to everyone.
I'm not just a waitress, I'm also a basic bitch who doesn't even know how to use hashtags.
Now, I love watching sex, violence, blood and guts. I have no problem with it at all. But I will never, ever understand why they continually inject sexual content into properties that have been marketed to kids and families for decades. Who are they doing this for?
Us bitches will do anything to get on it. Anything.
It's as weird as the people who get excited by sexy Darth Vader or sexy Woody. I like Vader. I like Woody. I've never felt the need to get aroused by either of them. But apparently it's fine to inject sex and adult themes into long-time existing kids and family content as long as you say, this is made for the adults.
He has a tiny dong.
I mean, in the current world of streaming, there's no possible way that a child that's a fan of Scooby-Doo would go and click on the Velma thumbnail. That would never happen. They're not marketing this show anything like a kid's cartoon. It looks completely different.
What the hell?
But I'm sure the weirdos with a lot to prove and the need to play grown-ups will defend this weird idea.
But that's the thing. It isn't Scooby-Doo. It is Velma. No Scooby-Doo. No Mystery Machine. And definitely not for kids. But as I say, if you do not like it, you don't have to watch it. Well, I say it isn't bad so far. So I'm going to see what it brings.
Stranger danger! People got upset when I questioned the need for the Andor series to open in a brothel, a location that had nothing to do with the story, and a scene that could have been just as easily set in a bar. Yes, apparently I was the strange one for questioning why that was needed in a show that is advertised alongside thumbnails of Grogu. No, there's no blurry line there at all. The franchise that sells jammies to toddlers should start every show in a brothel.
It spills over into every area of our lives.
By no means do I think Andor is anywhere near the trash Velma is, but it's part of a growing Hollywood trend.
Something that I call stranger danger.
Now, back before the dark times, before the world went crazy, if a studio wanted to comment on social norms or challenge them, or maybe inject in some adult themes, they wouldn't link it to existing children's entertainment. They would, now wait for this will blow your mind, they would come up with new characters and new shows. What a crazy idea.
Now where they at?
Shows like Daria, who was doing all this 20 years ago, the excellent and very funny Regular Show, and the amazing Tripping Balls Adventure Time, just to name a few. All of them well written, funny and original. But if that's not an edgy enough example, then go to one of my favourites, a show that Velma is trying 100% to rip off. The very funny Pushing the Boundaries Drawn Together.
Don't you hurt my mother!
Which to this day still has one of my favourite jokes.
Hey, tell me, what's your special move?
Fatality.
My special move is the reach around.
I had an unhinged person come after me on Twitter for using that joke. They somehow linked it to abusing women. I'm guessing they'd never watched Drawn Together.
This is men's fault.
But first, let me tell you about something you should be using. The Robot Head channel would literally not exist without a secure and reliable VPN. And the best VPN for the job is NordVPN. What is a VPN, you ask? A VPN, or virtual private network, is a clever little tool that not only hides your location and protects you from all the online baddies, it also lets you watch whatever you want, wherever you want. With fewer people going to the cinema, streaming content is more important than ever. But why let big business tell you what you're allowed to watch? With NordVPN, you can access geo-restricted content from all over the world, which simply means you can watch whatever you like, and you'll be safely hidden away from prying eyes. Whether you are looking for your favourite sport or a different streaming library, NordVPN allows you to pick the country, and with one click, you're now watching Formula 1 or some weirdo anime while you're lazing around the pool. And it's not just for streaming. NordVPN protects you when you're doing the important things as well, like paying bills or transferring money. And one account will protect up to 6 devices. NordVPN has been kind enough to offer a special deal for the amazing Robot Head audience. Sign up for their 2-year plan and you'll get a whopping 65% off their regular price. That's just a bit over $3 a month. You can't get a coffee for that. And trying NordVPN is risk-free because they have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So go to nordvpn.com/robothead or just use the link in the description. NordVPN. Protect yourself online.
Unfortunately, we're not done here, Velma.
Now, it should have been obvious from the get-go that this show was in trouble when the writers Mindy Kaling and Charlie Grandy looked so unconvincing when talking about how great this Velma show was while doing the promo rounds.
If I were a rich white dude, I'd kill everybody just to get away with it.
My favourite part is watching them pretend that this car crash was Mindy's great idea, and not really an idea the studio came up with to milk more blood out of a once popular IP while also bowing to the woke gods.
Guys even teach us to be ashamed of our own bodies.
The studios that own properties like this worked out years ago that it's easier and more profitable to continually beat a franchise's dead horse than it is coming up with new ideas. That's now their favourite business model. But that doesn't sound so good on the poster, so instead of going with the truth that the studio came up with this great idea and took it to Mindy, they spin the story that this was all Mindy's idea.
I'm calling bullshit.
That's sure to get the woke Twitter on side.
My opinion's changed.
But Mindy and Charlie should have really practiced this story because when interviewed by Entertainment Weekly, you can see the panic when they are asked about the origins to who came up with the Velma idea.
You know, I work with Warner Brothers, and I'd never done animation before, and so it was really exciting to see the entire canon of Hanna-Barbera cartoons that they have. And I said to Charlie, like, would you have any interest in doing something?
It was really exciting to see the entire canon of Hanna-Barbera cartoons they have. She says that as if she was just walking around the Warner Brothers offices one day and randomly came across the Hanna-Barbera catalogue.
Bullshit!
She just leaves out the bit where the studio approached her with this idea. But I tell you, Warner Brothers really lucked out because according to Charlie, he had always thought about the Mystery Gang's origin story.
Scooby-Doo, as a fan, the one question I always had was how did these 4 people come together? Sure. These 4 very different people.
This grown man has apparently always wondered how the Scooby Gang came together. Sadly, YouTube's banned any type of swearing. I learned that the hard way. Are you kidding me? So I'm going to say that I don't believe you, Charlie. I think you may be putting words together that form an untruth to sell this terrible show.
I'm calling bullshit.
Mindy then starts freestyling and adds that she has always been a lifelong fan of the Scooby Gang, especially Velma.
Big fan of Scooby-Doo, was raised watching almost every iteration of it, and really loved the character of Velma.
Now, I think Mindy's putting words together to form an untruth, because in early interviews, she explained how she was totally surprised that people cared for this character Velma.
There was a lot of like, so not Velma, like those kind of tweets.
Right.
Not the classic Velma that I'm always thinking about. First of all, I didn't know that she elicited such strong reactions in either direction.
And that she'd have to be careful moving forward.
It really made me think like, okay, we gotta be really careful with this character, which we will be because we really love her.
Which she did by making this family favourite a drug-taking, sexually charged brat teenager that is horrible to everyone.
You only think you're a murderer because you're a creepy loser.
There you go, long-time fans. See how careful she was?
I'm calling bullshit.
Then Charlie, who we've established is willing to degrade himself for his Warner Brother overlords, drops a real clanger. A clanger Mindy picks up and runs with. Because according to them, the most enjoyable part of the show was the teen moments separate from the main mystery. They make it all sound so sweet.
Mysteries of teen life.
They go to prom. Crystal Cove has a, fog festival. It has all this great stuff, and we get to talk about all those juicy high school dynamics that we love writing so much. So a way to do another really great teen series as well.
What is Velma?
Oh, it's exciting. You'll be happy.
Pity it's anything but sweet, because it's mostly about sex. It's not even a realistic, awkward version of teenage dating. It's the full-on adult fantasy version of sex.
Just admit, we are all secretly perverts.
Studios used to sue the porn parodies. Now they make them.
See, now if this was a show, it'd be super hot if you two kissed.
And on top of that, any type of romance or hetero crush is laughed at.
If I found humor attractive, I would be all over you right now. Oh well.
Apparently Velma and all her friends are 15 and 16. There's words for this type of behaviour, but we're not allowed to say them on here anymore. And on a completely unrelated topic, I must get the dog in for a haircut.
I have no clue how to be a woman in a way that doesn't judge other women.
Now, the only entertaining thing about the Velma show is that that deep down Warner Brothers thought this was going to be a home run. They thought the woke army would love this show
How dare you call any woman a monster, you monster?
and give them free advertising defending this garbage online. But in a surprise twist, the social justice warriors and the woke hate this show more than the normies. Now, that is comedy.
If society exerted half this effort teaching girls not to be slaves to the patriarchy, we wouldn't...
Toxic masculinity.